Welcome back, y'all, to the Wave Roar Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Perry. Peep my merch I'm rocking. If you're listening on podcast platform, it's okay. Go on YouTube, check it out. This is a shirt that I got from an Andy Mineo concert. You can see on the back, it says the only things you can't escape in life are death, taxes, and Jesus. And that's on life. Best believe it. I wanted to start this podcast episode off by saying that I apologize for not releasing an episode last week as scheduled. I wanted to take some time. I've been reading a lot. I've been meditating. I've been praying. Been exercising. Been trying to eat right. During all the madness that's going on outside, I'm trying to fix everything inside. There's a lot going on in the world, but I feel like when we're all stuck at home, there's a lot that's going on within ourselves. And if we took the time collectively as human beings to reflect on our thoughts and our life up until this point, that we would be in a better position when all of this subsides. With that being said, I wanted to thank you for supporting the podcast. I really enjoyed doing this. I'm normally an introverted person, if you know me personally. All of the people that I have consulted with this podcast, even Brian, my guest that I had on a couple episodes ago, it was a very interesting conversation. Shout out to my man, Brian Menard. The different people that I've had conversations with about this podcast, they've all been, giving me feedback, pushing me to do it, asking me, when's the next episode coming out. And I really appreciate that, because whenever I first started, I didn't honestly think that a lot of people would care what I had to say, honestly. And it's just a testament to me that you don't know unless you try. And you can't be afraid to put something out into the world because of what somebody's going to think. All this free time that we have, it's prime time for content creators such as myself. I feel like this going on is so we can all take a deep dive into something that we never would have looked at otherwise, because we ain't just been locked up like this. Speaking of content, let me tell y'all, I want to start this conversation off with this little caveat. When I first heard of TikTok, speaking of content, when I first heard of TikTok, I was like, that's stupid. I'm not getting on it, because when I got on Vine, I felt like I was wasting my time. I was like, these are stupid. Not all of these are funny. And that's fine. I ended up getting on Vine, but I wasn't one of the diehard Viners. I didn't feel like I was the type of person that could make funny content, because that's the type of content that I like watching. I like watching funny content, but I didn't feel as if that I could put myself in that platform and do it in 4 seconds. I just thought that was ridiculous. I was like, how am I supposed to get a joke out in 4 seconds? That's ridiculous. But some people are able to do that. But it also proved that some of those people can't be funny outside of those 4 seconds. Or they're just kind of, like corny. I hate to use that word, but I really don't know how else to describe them. Like, I feel like, me personally, most of the time that I spend on social media is looking for funny things, or people sending funny things to me, or just cool stuff in general. I know all of it's supposed to be a good thing, a way for people to connect with other people. But at the end of the day, whenever you like really look at social media for what it's become instead of what it's supposed to be, it's just a highlight reel. And whenever you spend a lot of time on these apps, it can get a little disheartening. If you see like 2 to 3, 4 to 5 of your friends and they're all posting, like one of your friends is on the beach, the other one just graduated, the other one just got a job, and you stuck at your 9 to 5 job, you gonna go home and probably be upset if you saw like 4 to 5 of your friends doing great things or fun looking things, and you're stuck at home. But now we all stuck at home. What's good, baby? But back to TikTok. Sorry, I got a little off track there. My mind just starts going. If you haven't noticed from previous episodes, I apologize in advance. But back to TikTok. I thought it was stupid at first. I ain't gonna lie. I downloaded it, uninstalled it, and then re-downloaded it. And then I made my first TikTok. If you haven't followed me on there yet, go ahead and follow your boy. I'm actually surprised at how the app works and everything. I made my first 2 videos, and then I was like, all right, I'm not really like searching for attention, but I'm on there to make videos for fun. And if you go on there and watch my content, that's all I'm really doing, because every video that I've done, other than the second video that I've ever posted, which is also on my Instagram, where I did a little rap that I wrote about a year ago now. Everything on there that I think is either funny or it's a dance. That's me. That's my personality, I feel like. And a lot of people on there, I don't really think y'all can dance. I'm just gonna put it out there. When the world opens back up and y'all try to get in the club and start doing this, I'm calling all of y'all out. I'm like, this is not your house, and nobody is TikToking you right now. That ain't it, Chief. Get out of here. And I know it's supposed to be, I guess it's just the reason I see a lot of those, like that dance, baby girl, give me something. Oh, like hearing that, like, now I can't listen to the song anymore. It ruins the song experience for me, because all I think about is everybody doing that dumb dance. I just wish some trends would die. I don't know what else to say. But the app is really fun. If you haven't gotten on it yet, I normally don't try to promote social media, because as that beverage, I'm not even going to call it by his name, as that beverage has been going around here, messing up the world, I've been trying to spend less time on my phone, less time than I normally would if I had my regular schedule, which every time my iPhone tells me over the week, I think I average about 4 to 5 hours a day. And then I broke it down, and I was like, that's entirely way too much time to be spending on my cell phone. That's neither here nor there. But in this secluded time that I have found that I have spent 4 hours on my phone a day. So it's going down. Praise the Lord. I thought my time would go up to 8 hours a day. But, shout out to TikTok. I like being on there. I like the content that I see on there. It's fun. Even the dances that may get a little bit annoying, it is what it is. My first initial thought was, this is going to be another Vine. But it's not. Vine is in the past. And speaking of the past, we are moving to the next segment that is going to be called the time travel segment. Now, bear with me. I'd like to ask you all a question, and then I'm going to tell you my choice because I wouldn't ask y'all nothing that I wouldn't answer myself. Would you rather go back to the past and change something or look into your future? I'm going to give pros for both. I don't really see any cons of either one. I guess you could make up your own rules because there's a bunch of time travel movies made. You can make up your own rules if you went into the past or if you went into the future. You be the mediator. You have the angel and the devil sitting on your shoulder. Ain't no devil on my shoulder because the Lord's with me. Go back to the past or look into the future. Going back to the past to try to change something, I feel like would be more. I feel like it would be counterproductive because I feel like a lot of the things that you go through, a lot of the things that you do in your life, they shape and mold you and make you to the person that you are. And you don't know if what you do in the past will change anything to when you get back to the present. Going back to the past, like, not only will it affect your present, but you don't know you don't know if that'll change somebody else's past also. And you have to, I think, in my imagination, when you go back to the past, nobody can see you because you will have a doppelganger who will be you doing old you things, but they won't be able to see you like Marty McFly. Like, that ain't it. Now, future, I would personally rather go to the future because I would want to see where I would be at, and if it's positive, I'm going to keep working just as hard as I am. I may not slack off, but be easier on myself, not be so hard on myself with everything that's going to happen, and I wouldn't really worry about my future. I don't worry about my future now, so that's why I would want to, like, take a little peek, see what's going on out there. Also, I would want to know how I look. I don't feel like I'm going to change a lot. Hair growing. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I would change a lot. I might change hairstyles. If you go back to the first episode, had that fade going. Now, got a little nappy flat top going. I just wanted to see what I would look like. But speaking about going back to the past, I know that's not what I chose, but we're going to do a little one gotta go. I don't know who made this, but great show. Great shows, shall I say. So the one that I found, it is A Different World, Fresh Prince, Living Single, and Martin. And I'm going to be real with y'all, I have not seen Living Single. I've seen A Different World, I've seen Martin, I've seen Fresh Prince, so I'm not going to do that one. The one that I will do is Bernie Mac Show, My Wife and Kids, George Lopez. It's the one gotta go is basically a show with a father figure with 2 to 3 kids. No, I'm gonna do one gotta go with those 3. First one off the board, just because of the style of comedy it was, Bernie Mac Show. It is not going anywhere. Bernie Mac is the funniest comedian in the history of comedians, in my point of view. I can still go back and watch Kings of Comedy or watch him on Def Jam, and it is still funny. When he said, I'm big boned, I'm heavy structured, I'm hung low. If I take my out, this whole room will get dark. That had me crying, and the first time I heard it, I was 12 years old, and I knew exactly what he was talking about. You know, when you 12, to all my men out there, you know, when you were 12 years old, and uh, you would be walking through the hall. I had to have a. I'm glad I had this because my my hormones was through the roof. That's all I'm gonna say on that. My mother bought me a. It was basically like imagine a satchel, but at the end of the satchel, it's a binder. So the binder, it was an industrial sized binder. Like it was probably bigger than me. It had hooks on the ends of it, on the top and the bottom of the binder. I'll show you a book, for example. So the binder had hooks here and here, and it had a strap like a satchel that would go around. And when I tell you, I wouldn't even be thinking about nothing. And little Jacob would be like, "Nah, this is what we on." Blood started flowing. I put that binder right in front of my pelvis area, and I walked down the halls. I don't know what was going on. Nobody explained anything to me. Uh, Girls don't know this, but little boys are little boys turning into teenagers. Probably the horniest a boy/male will ever be in his life. I promise. You think the men that chasing after you are horn dogs? Wait until you see a fifth grader talking about sex, or having to take a sex ed class, or anything having to do with a woman's vagina. Promise you. Doing. Or he's thinking about it. Even if he ain't thinking about it, it is on 100. Sorry, we're getting off topic. Back to the one gotta go. So I have my wife and kids and George Lopez left. This ain't gonna be hard for me. I know I used to wake up on the sofa, and when I heard that oh, that's tequila. I'm sorry, George Lopez. When I woke up, and no, it's the low rider is a little higher. When I woke up in the middle of the night and George Lopez was just playing, I knew that I had been downstairs too long, and I needed to go to bed. That's not the one I'm picking though, because I'm going with my wife and kids. Damon Wayans to me is the funniest Wayans brother. All of his skits on In Living Color, hilarious. Him and Mo Money, hilarious. He even took, what's his name? He took his homeless man character from In Living Color and put him into his own movie with Stacey Dash. I thought that movie could have been done better, but I liked it for what it was. I thought it was hilarious. I also think, this may be an unpopular opinion, the Wayans Brothers show with Sean and Marlon, not that good. Best part of that show was Pops, J.D. Witherspoon, may God rest his soul. But I don't think that Sean and Marlon are as funny, or Sean and Marlon, I don't think they're as funny as Damon. I think Damon is naturally funny, and I was watching My Wife and Kids whenever I was like 12, 13, 14 years old, and I was still getting his joke. Anytime he slapped Junior's head, my dad didn't do that to me. I don't got no soft spot in the back of my head. But I could imagine a father figure like that doing that to me if I said some of the dumb-ish that Junior said. He literally looked at the paper one time. He said, "Dad, that's not dumb. That's Dumby." And that joke to me, I still every time I think about it inside, I giggle because words are hard. I'm not gonna act like they aren't. Why is Arkansas and Kansas? We just not gonna act like that. Kansas ain't in Arkansas. The word through, cough, tough, and trough all have OUGH sounds or letters, but they all sound differently. I'm not going to argue the English language with anybody. But when Junior said that, I laughed because I know English is the hardest language to learn, but that's the dumbest possible thing that you could ever say. And for his character to play it so well, like he played Boo Boo the Fool for so long that I actually thought that he was slow and dumb, and it was just a TV show. Also, had a crush on both Claires. The one that was in You Got Served, and the dark-skinned Claire that just got replaced out of nowhere, and they pretended like it didn't happen. You know what? We're going to let bygones be bygones, because it happened in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, too. We all know there's a light-skinned Aunt Viv and a dark-skinned Aunt Viv. Both beautiful black women. Go ahead and do your thing. But I noticed. That's all I got to say. So, the one got to go for me is George Lopez. I love George Lopez because I would say I would leave George Lopez and be saying "Sabes to my friends, to la raza," and I like the dynamic between him and his son, him and his daughter, who was also fine, by the way. The daughter was fine and the mother was fine. That was when I first started liking Latinas, and I haven't gone back since. Anyways, this has been a great episode. I appreciate you for tuning in with me. Please continue to check me out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, YouTube. If you want to subscribe to my Patreon, you can join for as low as $1. You'll be getting bonus content. Also, behind the scenes, you get to see all the things nobody of the regular world can see. And my appreciation. I thank you and I love you. I'm out. Thanks for listening. I appreciate all of your support. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe. You can find me here at Wave of the World Podcast on YouTube. You can also find me on any podcast platform. If you have any questions, thoughts, or suggestions, please send them to waveoftheworld19@gmail.com. And this beat is provided by Terminal Beats.